Introduce you to our next keynote speaker, Mr. Jeff Sass, who is the Chief Marketing Officer at .club, and he's got some really cool things to talk about.
Great.
And things to give away.
Thank you, Jonathan. Good morning, and first of all, thanks again to Dietmar for putting on this wonderful show. Really, it's been great, and I also appreciate Dietmar being kind enough to buy a few copies of my book that he's been giving away, so I appreciate that. But we have some more giveaways, just to wake everyone up a little bit. One of the companies using a .club domain is manbrands.club, and they get these really cool socks. Who would like a pair of socks? We've got some socks. Think about it. Who wants some socks? All right. This way, in case your luggage was lost, a lot of people lost their luggage on this trip. At the very least, you won't go home without socks. Right? A few more pairs. Michele, wake up there. More socks. And the last pairs of socks. There we go. Now, everyone who got a pair of socks, raise your hand if you got a pair of socks. All right, very important. Please remember to practice safe socks. So, wow. A lot of build-up just for that one, right, Braden? You wish you had said it. So this morning, I want to talk a little bit about how you can make easy money with easy payments. Everyone here wants to make money, right? That's what we're here for. Domain investing is a great way to make money, and there's been a lot of talk about financing domains and paying for domains over time, and .club has a little bit of a different twist on it that we'll talk about this morning. First, let me tell you a little bit about .club. We're celebrating our 3rd anniversary, so it's been 3 years since we launched, and in that time we have about 950,000 registrations now. So we've grown very nicely, and it's really been nice, steady growth. But the thing that we're most excited about, much more so than top-line registration numbers, is the usage. And in the previous panel, there was mention that there's not a lot of usage, not a lot of building out amongst the new TLDs. Well, I beg to differ with that opinion, because we've seen almost 150,000 live .club sites. These are real businesses using a .club domain name across all different categories around the world. These are not park pages. These are real businesses using it. And for our birthday, we put together a little video really to celebrate some of these businesses that are using a .club name. So we'll take a minute and let you see that. This sound of you. You see examples of .club sites, and not only are they using the domains,
and the next generation of mobile fitness.
They promote them, right? They use it in their own marketing efforts.
Coffeepod.club.
Club Lounge, und da gehen wir jetzt mal rein.
Ждут фантастическая игровая зона, 3D-кинотеатр, полное погружение в доисторическую эпоху.
The Entrepreneurs Fight Club. Pretty funny. Fighting for money.
Ausgeglichener haben mehr Lebensqualität, fühlen sich in ihrem Körper wohl, sind fit und gesund und haben die Zeit effektiv.
I'm going to kill a workout, as you can see.
The other thing that's really great is a lot of these businesses are getting media attention. You know, no one cares about the registry business, but it's great to see .club businesses featured in the news. Everything from Vogue magazine to Forbes to the Telegraph. All these different businesses are getting mentioned in the news, and all those articles mention their .club name address. And really just some more examples. And again, as you can see, all different categories of businesses, from actual clubs to startups, all over the world, all different languages. Club is truly a global brand. So we really appreciate all the great businesses around the world who are using a .club name. And as you can see, quite a variety. So there is usage, and usage is growing, and we're very proud of our usage. One of the things we wanted to do to encourage usage is to make it much easier for entrepreneurs and small businesses to get hold of a great premium domain, of a great keyword domain that they can use for their business. So we launched something at Get.club that helps that happen. I want to tell you a little bit about it. So first of all, how many people here drive a car, have a car? Great. How many people live in a house or an apartment? Right? How many of you paid for that up front with a big pile of cash? Just a handful. Ralph, drinks are on Ralph tonight. Raven and Ralph are treating us. The rest of us, normal people, we don't pay it up front. We pay it out over time, right? We make payments. And why shouldn't you do that? That concept of renting something, why shouldn't you do that for great brandable domains, right? But renting domains, has an obligation to it. Leasing, a mortgage, you're still on the hook. So the approach that we're taking to this concept is a little bit different. It's really more like a subscription, more like a magazine subscription even. I mean, it's much more simple. So basically, when you use our easy payment program, you pay with a credit card. It's set up as a repeating payment each month. But like any subscription, you can cancel at any time. So while you're making payments for one of our premium domains, you have access to the DNS, you have access to change the whois information. You can control and use that domain as if it's yours until you stop paying for it, right? Once you cancel your subscription, you're no longer on the hook to pay anymore, and you've paid whatever you've paid, and at that point, we take the name back, and you're finished. So there's no long-term obligation. You can cancel anytime. So I'll give you a little idea of how it works, and it's quite simple. So if you go to Get.club, the first thing you're met with is, of course, a nice big search box where you can search for any .club name. And if the name has already been registered, you can get the whois information from within Get.club. If the name is available for registration, if it's a standard fee domain, you can click through to your favorite registrar and register with them. If it's a premium name and you want to take advantage of either a buy it now price or our easy payment program, you can do that as well. So if we go and search for a name, suppose I search for technology.club. As you can see, we have a suggestion engine. We make other suggestions for similar names. We dynamically create logos for every name, so the user experience is very friendly, very visible. That's easy for me to say. And I think, again, when you're looking for people who want business ideas, want to do something with a domain, seeing a logo helps you envision it. It helps it look more like a real business. So we think it's important to make that presentation. And then, as you can see, every domain that's a premium name of $1,000 or more has either a buy it now price. In this example, it's a $3,000 domain, or you could pay $50 a month. And as I said before, that monthly subscription is just that. You can stop paying at any time. So you might go into it and 6 months later you decide, you know what, I'm not really using technology.club, I don't want to bother with it anymore. You could cancel your subscription at any time. And signing up is very easy. It's a simple e-commerce. We have the opportunity to use coupon codes, and I'll talk about that a little bit more in a moment as I describe our broker program. But if you got a code, so for example, for this show, we have the code DE Club, and that will give you 15% off any .club premium name at get.club. You could use that code, you would enter it there. And again, very simple. It's monthly payments. You could prepay at any time. So the one thing you can't do is you can't transfer the name until it's paid in full. So if you bought that $3,000 name, technology.club, and you're making payments of $50 a month, and someone comes along and you want to sell it to them for $5,000 or $10,000, you can do that. You just have to pay whatever the balance is owed, and then you can transfer it to that person. Anything over and above our price is yours to keep. So if it's a $3,000 name, you're paying $50 a month, and in the third month you find someone who wants to buy it for $20,000, you just owe us, you know, $2,900 because you paid for the first 2 months, and then everything over that you keep, you know, in the sale. So it's very straightforward, very easy. Now, once we built this, we originally built this and we introduced this at NamesCon. We built it thinking about the end user. We built it to make it easy for small businesses and entrepreneurs to get their hands on a great premium name, pay for it monthly out of cash flow. It's very easy, no big upfront check. But we also realized that this could be very beneficial for domain investors. And we launched a broker program at NamesCon. And I'll tell you a little bit about how the broker program works. If you go to get.club/broker, there's a simple form you can fill out to apply to be a broker, and assuming that you're approved, which pretty much everyone often is, you will get a unique code that you can use. So if you go to get.club/broker, you can sign up to become one of our brokers. And really the idea is for you to be a superhero to your clients, right? We want to give you something that you can offer your clients and make money as well. So you might find out who the man behind that mask is. Well, there is no mask, so who that man behind that uniform is. But we really wanted to make you be a superhero for your clients if you're a domain broker. So basically, how it works is very simple. You go to get.club and you sign up to become a broker, or here at Domaining Europe, come see myself or come see Mark, and we can sign you up and give you a broker code right here. With that broker code, anyone who purchases a premium domain with your code gets 10% off, and then you as the broker earn a 15% commission. So basically, you can use that for yourself if you want to acquire names yourself, or if you want to push that code out to your customers, or if you want to work our domain list and realize, you know what, you have a client who could make good use out of technology.club, you can direct them to go to get.club. They would use your code and they'd get 10% off that $3,000 price. And that discount is the same whether they want to do buy it now or whether they want to do the easy payments. You'll still get the discount. And then whoever's code is used, that broker will earn a 15% commission. So it's very easy, very simple to do. How is it being used now? So I think certain domain brokers, and we have about 50 brokers that are already actively using the platform, which we're very excited about. And two different ways. You know, some brokers are actually just pushing their code out to their client base and saying, hey, if you're ever interested in a .club name, use my code, you'll get 10% off. Some brokers are working verticals that they know and understand, and verticals where they know they have clients that are active. So in the example I gave, if you saw technology.club is available and you have a client that has a business that's appropriate for, you might reach out to that client and say, hey, I recommend you using technology.club, and you can pay it easy payments over 60 months, no interest, no obligation, and if you use my code, you'll get a 10% discount. So there's a lot of ways that brokers are doing that. Then there are some brokers who are actually doing it more like an option, right? They're using the easy payment plan to take out an option on a name. So if there's a high value name that they want to work really hard, or they want to develop it, or they have a customer they want to, or a client base they want to push it to, and they want to take it off the market, they basically buy it under the easy payment plan, and it's like taking an option on that name. So you might have a $10 or $20 or $50,000 name that you're paying for monthly while you go out and market it, and now you basically control that name. So you can have a budget in mind. I'm going to do this for 3 months or 6 months or a year or whatever it is, and you're just making those monthly payments until you flip the domain or find a buyer for it. So you can use it as a way to take an option out on a name. And we see a lot of brokers doing both of those. Some brokers are very active. And one of the things I'm going to do in a minute is introduce you to someone who is relatively new to the domain industry. has been taking advantage of the easy payment program at .club and also taking advantage of domains and a lot of other extensions. And I thought it'd be fun to have a little bit of a Q&A and a little talk with someone who's actively new to the business, but also very active in registering and using domains across a lot of different categories. So how's it going? It's actually going really well. Since we started, we introduced, well, first of all, just premium names in general for .club have been doing very well. We've sold, since inception, over $5 million in premium names, which I think is probably the most for any single string. Our highest price, full price domain paid up front in full is wine.club for $140,000. We've also sold some very nice high price names under the easy payment plan. So our premium names have been doing very well. We also sell a lot of premium names through the registrar channel, right? We have tiered premiums that are available from all your favorite registrars, and every month we're selling a lot of names there as well. And those prices range from as low as, $65 or $70 to $10,000 in the registrar channel. And again, with .club domains, the renewal fee is always our standard fee. So renewals, no matter what you paid up front, renewals are 10 to 15 bucks, our standard fee. And under the easy payment plan, during those 60 months, during that 5-year, there are no renewal fees. So basically, renewals are included while you're making those monthly payments. So there's nothing to worry about, just the monthly payment during that 5-year period. In the first quarter of this year, we did $500,000 in premium name sales. So that was great. That's both the registrar channel and at Get.club. At Get.club, we sold 88 names in Q1. Out of the 88 names, 85 of them used the easy payment plan. So clearly, having the opportunity to pay monthly for those domain names is much more popular than buying it up front with the buy it now price. And those 85 names in Q1 added up to a top line value. Of course, these are being paid monthly, but the actual top line value of those names was over $320,000. And here we are in May, in Q2, and we've already exceeded our sales from Q1. So we're going to do very well this quarter. Again, both with the registrar channel and with the easy payment plan at Get.club. So it's been going very well. It's also going well because it's also getting developed sites. So while we have a lot of people registering names for investment purposes, they're also taking advantage of the easy payment program to build out sites. Sites like news.club and loan.club are already live, built out sites, and those are all using the easy payment program. So we're really happy with the way it's been going. We hope you'll check it out. We built it mobile friendly first, so you can go to Get.club on your phone and you'll see a really nice mobile interface. You can do it on your desktop. If you want to become one of our brokers or get a code, come see me. Don't forget that during the conference, you can use de.club to get 15% off any name. And I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't remind you that we also have free names in the auction this afternoon. So Europe.club, German.club, and England.club are all in the auction. And we're offering easy payments on these names as well. So if you are the winning bidder for one of these names in the auction, you would just pay 15% down so that the auctioneer gets their commission, and then the balance can be done in 60 easy payments through our easy payment program over 5 years. So keep that in mind as you get into the auction this afternoon. So I'll, at the end, take any questions you might have about this program or what we're doing here about .club in general. But first I wanted to introduce Tanya Loh. So Tanya, come on up, get you a microphone. So Tanya, I think would be really interesting for you guys to get to know, and you guys and gals to get to know. Tanya has recently become very, very active in the domain space. Her company is called Futures.for-sale, and I'll let Tanya speak for herself in a moment, but by way of introduction, Tanya's had a 17-year background in the tech world in a lot of different verticals, from healthcare to e-commerce to enterprise software to entertainment. So she's got a very strong and varied background. And about 3.5 months ago, she got very active in the domain space. And currently, over the past 90 plus days, Tanya's developed a portfolio of about 5,000 names. But unlike many of you in the room, Tanya is quite extension agnostic. And I looked at her list that she shared with me, and she has names in over 220 different extensions. So she's really a strong believer in the overall meaning of a name on both sides of the dot, and that includes .coms and .XXXs and everything in between. So with that, I'll let Tanya introduce herself and a little bit about what her thoughts on the domain space is and her business model that she's trying to accomplish.
Thank you, Jeff. Hi, everyone. Good morning, I guess. Morning. So yes, I started Futures.for-sale because I believe in social enterprise, and I think that the internet remains the easiest and quickest way to exchange information and effect trade. So Futures.for-sale is my cheeky way of sort of getting at the fact that the new extensions really constitute whole new frontiers of development. And these days, because the internet is so easy, there's so many DIY tools. One of my goals is to actually commercialize, maybe not all 5,000, because some of them are really terrible. They're shit.club. Or shite.club in some places, which I love of those if anyone wants to play. But I really do want to commercialize my domains for social enterprises as well as companies that are building towards long-term sustainable good. So as Jeff mentioned, I've been in Silicon Valley for the last 7 years. I'm really tired of the greed. I worked with a company that was bought by Microsoft. I invested in exercise the first year, and I have all 600 pages of that paperwork in my closet. And so once in a while, I'll read it and remember exactly how hard people worked and what relative earnings they received from that experience. And that's just one of many examples where it just doesn't seem fair. The other thing that I really think we need to work on, just as a group and community, is making the internet accessible to all. One of the things that bothered me is that 50% of this world doesn't have access to the internet. I believe in net neutrality and access, and so some of the domains I bought have more of a sort of a purpose-driven sort of goal to them. It all started, frankly, in September of last year. I was at a yoga retreat, and I've been working really hard, so this alter ego spirit animal I have is a sloth. And so I thought it'd be really funny to start a parody brand that would be slothful.club, goodsloth.com, and it would just be the laziest brand from a marketing perspective. Like every tweet, every blog would be like half-baked. Shipping rush would be like 14 days. You'd get it if you did like playing up that joke. And that's what made me realize, wow, there are all these new, domains. So you all have been in this world for a long time, and it's, fantastic to hear about all the issues at stake. But for me, in the past 90 days, I bought 99.9% of my domains because I'm really motivated to figure out how do we use commercialization of these entities to basically affect global trade across organizations and sort of entities, as well as amnesty. So a lot of my business school classmates are international students. I graduated from Chicago Booth in 2009. This was right when the market collapsed. And I saw firsthand what happened. And just recently I had lunch with my friend Anton, who is from Ukraine. He and his wife and daughter thankfully moved to the US in 2013 before the invasion. And, it was to start a company. Unfortunately, the funding dried up when Ukraine was invaded by Russia. And so we had this long conversation because he's now studying blockchain. This guy is a genius. Like I could go on and on. But long story long, a lot of my domains have like a fun aspect. Comedy.club is something I'm really excited to build out with Jeff, figure out new models in terms of going direct to consumer with talent. Porn.club is one that another friend is going to build, and we're not going to tell my father. And then there are other ones like safety.club, startups.club is actually Jeff's, which I think is great. So there are a bunch of really great ways to form communities and self-organize on an international basis. And that is what gets me really excited, is to even be here to talk about them.
And Tanya, just curious, I know a lot of people in this room have portfolios of different sizes, some of which took years to develop. You did yours in 3 months. How much time, like what's your process in terms of finding domains, looking at the extensions? How much time do you do this? Is it a daily practice? Or do you go into like domain mode and spend 72 hours straight just registering domains?
And how much wine do you drink?
You know, I don't actually drink a lot of wine these days. I moved on to tequila, which I got tequila.bar, and I want to like panda.club, serve tequila. It's all really strange. So I was an English major at Yale for undergrad, and I've always been a lover of words. And so it's a weird thing for me. I think I didn't even realize until I ran that pivot table this morning that I had 220 extensions. I know 700 of 1,100 have been approved, so that's, you know, I'm still missing 500, so. But for me, it's just.
Get back to work.
I know, I gotta go back. Well, you know, I gotta go read them all. No, for me, it's one of those things where I think about the sect. So if you understand SEO and search, then you know that it's never been about the .com. That is just one link on a page. But if you know marketing, then you know that you want to own the spread on the first page. And it's about relevance, transparency, beating the algorithm, not just on Google, but on all the other, you know, don't forget there were Bing and Yahoo and Safari. Some people use Safari, I do my half of. And so I just realized, like, wow, you know, you can go and buy a whole set of domains and really own it, and buy things like hustler.club. I know I wasn't supposed to talk about trademark, but I bought a bunch of hustlers because I want to put ponies on it, or change the fact that, you know, I think women who strip have probably not been introduced to other opportunities.
Hustler is a generic term.
And hustler is a generic term, but also hustler.capital is pretty funny. It could be a show. I bought bro.capital because that could also be a TV show. You know, there are a lot of ways to commercialize these entities. And so when I think about it, I also think about what are all of our future frontiers. So aquacult.club, I want to start an aquacult, which is a group of people who believe in hydroponics and cannabis features. And I know a lot of people who are building out these companies.
I think Tanya owns 420.4sale,
yes,
correct?
I own 420.4sale. So Weedmapper is a very famous app, at least in the States. It's gotten a lot of funding. But if you have 420.4sale, to me, when you have a very memorable domain, then you can bypass all the bullshit that requires building an app, that requires downloading, that requires you subjecting, like having had my own e-commerce company before where I had to build an app and we were subjected to Apple's approval process, which took 7 days and maybe they didn't approve it. You know, it's a real pain. But if you have a memorable domain and you use an open source map, you just aggregate all the different dispensaries. And maybe that's one part of the biz model, and then it changes the next month and becomes about a premium content split with a guy named Chris Wright who runs Cannabis Talk 101, and he's like the #1 cannabis content provider in Southern California, and he's all about helping people learn how to build pot farms, right? So I just think there are a lot of ways to play with these domains, but the way I focus my energies tends to be on like the 8 or 9 different frontiers that I'm interested in. So Futures.for-sale, yes, it's kind of a tongue-in-cheek, I'm calling myself a mixed reality domain broker-developer. But it's actually sort of like an incubator because I eventually want to be a super angel philanthropist. And so it's a little aggressive, who knows if I can make it. But I do think that I'll find enough partners who will want to work with me to commercialize these ideas.
And then one of the reasons Tanya came to Domaining Europe is looking for such partners. So, you know, if you have any interest in finding out more about some of her portfolio and ways you might be able to work together, that would be great. I think we have like 2 minutes for questions. Any questions? So any questions for myself about .club, about our financing or easy payments, broker program, or anything for Tanya? Yes?
What about the logo? You're selling the domain and the logo.
Yeah.
So if someone steps out but is still interested in using the logo, because that is a value that might
Yes.
be better than the domain.
Yeah, so you can have the logo. Here's 2 things I'll say about the logos at get.club. For certain names, some of the higher priced names, they may be a custom logo for that name. For other names, to be honest, they're auto-generated, so the logo for that name may not be 100% unique. There might be another name that will come up with a similar logo because they're generated dynamically. So either way, if you're interested in using the logo, that's not a problem. For the higher priced names, there are logos that are custom to that name and unique, and yes, as part of the purchase, you could have the logo. Yes?
If you've done any testing, I mean, are you sure that if you have a logo that the customer is more likely to buy the domain?
So I don't have, it's a good question. So we only have, less than 3 months of data. We launched this at the end of January at NamesCon. So I don't have comparative data either, because we never offered this kind of service without the logos. We just believe, from a UI experience, that when you see names with a logo, it helps you visualize it as something to use, something for business. I think anecdotally, things like there are other sites that sell brandable domains that also provide logos, and they've done very well. So I think that I don't have hard data, but I would say anecdotally, I think it's much better than just seeing a list of names.
I think the answer is on the lower end names.
Yeah.
The $2,500 name.
Yeah.
The logo helps, but on the higher end names.
Yeah, exactly. If you're going to be paying a lot of money for a big name and you have big ideas for it, the logo's not going to change your mind one way or the other. Yeah. Any other questions? Great. Well, thank you very much. And again, feel free to visit myself or Mark if you want to get more information about becoming a broker as part of our broker program. And thanks again for taking the time to listen this morning. And feel free to talk to Tanya. She'll be here all day as well.
Yacht.club.
Thank you.